It's another week of Make It Stop. And actually, that's going to be the entire episode. Is just us going on like that for about an hour and a half, because that's pretty much a shortcut to all the music that we're going to be listening to today. Just one long, meandering song, specifically. Yep. It's Jam Band Week, everybody. Whoa.
All right. What's up?
Stoppies. In honor of, summertime and festy season. Am I right? We decided it was important for us to come out here and do ourselves a little... who decided this? Did I decide this? Did you decide this, Mike Dunn?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it had to happen eventually.
Right.
If we're doing bad music, we got to get into jam.
Which is what we do. Make it stop.
The whole...
Bad music. Good times. There we go.
Yes.
Got that tagline in.
I was
also
lockstep with the second half.
That was great. Also, my name is Heather Mack.
My name is Mike Dunn.
That's right. And as you were about to say, we do bad music on the show. We review terrible music, terrible albums, sometimes by artists that we do like, often by artists that we also hate. And in this case, this is a genre of music that both of us actively despise.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the jam bands. I have given the genre, as Alex Trebek says.
Don't you dare.
I've given it a fair shake, and it's not for me.
Nope. Have you given it a fair shake, Mike? I mean, how much is a fair shake? It's all the same fucking stupid noodly woodly doodly fucking dad song.
I mean, we got some friends who love Phish, I mean,
I know. It's a shame.
I have driven along with some Phish friends. They've played some live sets, which is supposed to be them at their best. That's
friends
what you're
are
in
spelled
it for.
PH, just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. We just got.
So
we
was
don't want to
that
give
noise
people...
I just made?
Yep.
Friend.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck is also a PH word over the course of tonight.
I definitely wrote it off hearing nothing, but I've still disliked it after giving it a fair shake.
I'm glad that you admitted that. Yeah, I think I hated Phish originally because I read a lot of articles on Something Awful. And I remember Dr. David Thorpe. Shout out to Dr. David Thorpe. And he used
His wife, fun fact, Coco Thorpe,
what?
is like the head admin of the dog spotting group on Facebook.
Wow. What a deep cut piece of information there for our stoppies to hold on to and put in their little Rolodex.
It's a great group.
Yeah, it is. We love dogs. We hate fish. But I definitely read articles online mercilessly making fun of Phish, and so I had made my mind up. Also, I was a punk, punks and...
Right. It was diametrically opposed to our whole aesthetic.
You had to, you kind of had to hate it. And also, what's not to hate? Honestly.
I mean, look,
just meandering white dude, self-indulgent fucking garbage.
I try to see the positives.
On loop.
I try to see the positives. It's it's fun and goofy, and it's virtuosic. I don't know. I'm usually the one who's correcting you in the words, but is it virtuosic?
I don't see.
Is it the virtuosity of a Mike Gordon bass solo jumping on a trampoline? I mean, Look, I listened.
What is anything?
I listened to every episode of Analyze Phish, which was a podcast featuring Scott Aukerman and the late great Harris Whittles, and it was Harris Whittles for 12 episodes straight trying to convince Scott Aukerman of the positives of Phish and to get him into Phish. And
were you convinced?
No, and neither was Scott Aukerman.
Kidding. So again, similarly to our ICP episode, we wanted to, consider, because me and you both, Mike and I really, really despise Phish, and despise jam bands in general. Like I said, even despite the internet, hating it as I did, briefly flirt with, because I was a punk who smoked weed. So I definitely had lots of those friends.
Right.
So they're the Venn diagram wasn't as off as you would think, but
no, we were certainly exposed to it.
Certainly exposed, and I fucking hated it. So anyway, similarly to ICP, our episode with ICP, where we brought Squally Green Thumb on the show, a true juggalo, onto the show to, discuss and to put in context, what Insane Clown Posse, what that album, what was that fucking album?
Bang
Pow Boom. That's right.
Bang Pow Boom.
Bang Pow Boom. We were juggalos for a week there, but it didn't take. But anyway, we thought it was really important that we get somebody in here who's an actual jam band fan, even also a musician in his own right. I don't know if any of the songs he does could be considered jam bands because they seem to end jam songs, but
Jams.
they do end jams. Is that, I don't know. It's stupid.
Type 1s and Type 2s.
God, I hate that. So we want to welcome our good friend from way back in the UMass days, who has since gone off and had a kid and just put out a record recently. We got Mitch Williams, a.k.a. Mitchy Dee, on the show today.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm out in internet land right now. I'm just trying to say hi, and that I have been a fan of jam music since like high school. And this album that we're going to be reviewing today, it's The White Tape by Phish. And it's a bit of low-hanging fruit because it wasn't like an official album. It was a collection of demos that were released between 84 and 86.
It's more like low-hanging poop.
Low-hanging poop, exactly.
Yep.
Collection of demos released between 84 and 86 that were compiled together and had an official CD release in 98, and then eventually a vinyl re-release on Record Store Day in 2011. So as far as I'm concerned, it's fair game for the Rifling because, it's out. It's on their label. It's official release.
Yeah.
It's canon. And I have a personal vendetta against this album because when I was like 14...
And against us, apparently. This is a great reunion for us 10 years later.
Yeah, I had to just throw this back at you. It's like, oh, we haven't talked in like 10 years. Here, listen to this fucking bullshit. But when I was 14... I was starting to get into like jam music, Phish, Grateful Dead, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I ended up going to my local Newbury Comics and walking into the rock and roll section and finding the Phish section. And I had a few songs I had downloaded off like LimeWire or Kazaa, whatever was like whatever was the file sharing program of choice back in those days. But I never had like a whole album. I'm like, all right, I want to get a whole album. And I didn't know which one to get. I knew nothing about it really. Like I'd heard some stuff from my brother, but never like which album to buy or anything. So I bought the one that had the logo on it. And I got stuck with this pile of crap when I got home and put it in my CD player and listened to it through my headphones.
And now we're all stuck with this pile of crap.
And now everybody has to go through it right now.
Yeah, I would say it would be very generous to call this an album.
Yes.
This is a bunch of...
It's an affront.
It's just a bunch of sketches. It's just a couple of hippies fucking around in their dorm room.
It's like calling improv sketch comedy or comedy at all.
Well, I mean, okay.
Improv, it's like you don't plan anything and it's bad, so at least there's no beginning, middle, or end, and I do think that's an apt comparison to this shit because there's no rising action, there's no climax, there's no like storytelling really. It's just half-assed, fucking tossed off, fucking little wank tissues of music.
At summer camp when I was 14 years old, I did a class called Improve with Improv, and I'd say this is about.
Did you improve? I mean, now we do a podcast, which is it's mostly improv, so I guess we're doing okay.
I learned not to just keep my hands in my pockets the entire time I'm on stage.
That's a good
thing
skill.
to know.
That's a good skill. Well, this you won't learn anything from this album, and you won't gain any skills whatsoever besides, I guess the skill of persistence, resilience, being able to keep a sound mind and an open heart after consuming this fucking drivel.
I will say I was kind of like ready to like really sink my teeth into Phish, and like just really get to the heart of what bothers me about Phish, or maybe even have like a juggalo moment and be like, oh wait,
Phish
no,
is
I get it now. But
we didn't have that moment.
You really can't even on this because there's like a couple songs where I can be like, okay, well, this is what a Phish song sounds like, and here's my problems with it. But for the most part, this album is just bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit.
It's bullshit even for jam band fans, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be fan service of like, oh, well, this was what their early years were like. This is like
my
where they got their
definition of
start.
fan service is a little bit different than this.
Yeah, I'm talking about anime boobies, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And
Well,
there's
it's
nothing.
It was released as fan service, but even like not everyone liked this. Like this,
There's
didn't
no
have to
equivalent of anime boobies
This is
anywhere
like-
on this fucking.
happen. This is like when they were doing like re-releasing. Like, didn't they just like re-release a bunch of Nirvana demos or something?
Yeah, they had like the box set that came out. That
Yeah.
It would be like if they were included on this. I'm just going to preface this a little bit. If there was also like a bunch of tracks of just Kurt Cobain making fart noises into an 8-track, like
yeah.
that's just going to preface this a little bit.
I wonder if Kurt Cobain ever had the phase that Phish was clearly going through here, where he got a delay pedal and was just wrapped by it. You know, was just like I gotta throw this on half the tracks on the album.
Jesus. It's more just that they tossed off the shit at one point and threw it in, you know, it was lost to the sands of time. But
And
then they
then-
realized that they had a fan base that would eat, you know, everything up.
Yeah,
And
that's
they-
gonna go on Rate Your Music and be like, yo, there's actually some gems on
There's
this
some
one, bro.
gems, bro.
This version of AC/DC Bag is killer. No, but it's even crazy to me. Like, even if they never, you know, did a wide release on this, which apparently in 2011 it came out on vinyl, which is like, God,
It was a
who
record store day release. This is what they put out for
What?
Record Store Day that year.
What?
Yeah.
That's an affront. But just even the fact that they were giving this out at their early shows when they were in college, like.
Right.
That's when you're trying to get noticed. You're trying to get signed, and like
You want to put your bet foot.
you want to exactly.
the
Yes.
best foot forward.
Yeah.
And this is not it.
No.
This is it. This is what they were like. Here, yeah, check out my band.
This is a best.
This is-
This is a Birkenstock sandal backward. Like, I don't know, man. It's for one thing I did want to ask before we get into the actual music, because we're reviewing the white tape as Mitch has explained to us. But Mitch, you are a fan of this music.
I do.
Please, can you defend jam music as a genre? Because we have categorically. I was literally trying to think about it. I was like, can I find anything redeeming about music that, you know, can sort of jam-y? Like, the closest I would get would be P-Funk. And so I would say, like, the things about P-Funk, you know, that edge into jam, you know, when they're just kind of, like, goofing off and letting a song kind of breathe and go in and out and be more improvisational with it, but they still know when to end it and bring it back.
So yeah, break it down.
Break it down for us. We need to
Basically,
know.
sometimes when you listen to a song and you hear it, you know what to expect. You know what's coming. You kind of go through it. But with jam band stuff, it's like a really cool, like, it's an exploration. It's like someone taking you on a sightseeing tour as opposed to just like looking at something like in a book, I guess. I'm not sure if that really encapsulates it, but basically the whole vibe, being there, hearing this stuff like being played for essentially the first time, and just kind of listening to it and like being a part of it.
So
almost.
it's a live performance.
It's a
part.
live performance
Okay, so
part
it's
of it.
definitely something that you have to experience live.
Especially with Phish. Other bands, like I'd say like the Grateful Dead, there's more merit to the studio stuff. There's like a lot of really good side. I would say that if
They
you're
have some
into
good
like a
songs.
weird like old school,
Scarlet Begonias.
if you're into a weird old school country vibe like that, they have
Right,
stuff.
okay,
you
so
can go
that's
for that.
actually so that is kind of you just put your finger on a pulse there. This like kind of common thread between, because I know people that like bluegrass. I feel like bluegrass is like similar kind of, and
Yeah, there's a
and
lot
that
of
old
bluegrass
school
influence.
country. I guess
Yeah,
I
they
don't
seem to
like
draw on a lot.
most of that, but
they draw on like because I like some prog rock. Like I like Yes, and anyway, I like prog rock and stuff. But it's there's those elements of improvisation that you get with prog rock in this, but the sound is like draws a lot more heavily on Americana, bluegrass, country, and like funk. But it's like this. I feel dirty.
it's
calling
very
it funk.
unfunky. Well, and also it's very white. Again, one of the major themes of the music we listen to on the show is just white peopling. And this is like kind of the ultimate white peopling.
But is
like,
that-
are there any jam bands with people of color in them? From
Dave
like,
Dave Matthews Band.
oh god, there you go. Okay, all right.
But no, what is like
Grateful Dead, Dead and Company's touring with a black bassist now.
Oh, of course. So, well, it's 2018. I'm talking about back in the days of, I don't know, because that's the thing is like this shit indoors. So obviously there's something about it that is special because like down the street we have a venue that has like blocks of people just like waiting in line to go see some fucking like local like Dead impersonator band. Like It's not cute. I don't understand it, but it does endure. So there has to be some sort of...
There's something that we're missing, Heather.
Well, listen.
It's
okay, here's
like...
what we're missing. I think the whole time I thought we were missing drugs, but like we weren't missing drugs. I did those. So like, I don't understand. I listened. Okay, I have listened to some very questionable music on drugs that have sounded way better than they were in real life because I was on drugs, like psytrance. Oh my god, that was an embarrassing period of time in my life. But when I was like 16 and taking a bunch of MDMA, like I was loving psytrance.
Are we gonna do infected mushroom on this show?
Oh my god, I would actually love to do that. But like we went. It was because we liked going to raves, because raves themselves were fun. It wasn't about the music in particular. It was about the fact that we were going to a rave, we were on drugs, there were, it's cool visuals, cool art, and it's not really that cool now that I'm 30, but like it was cool at the time. But I just don't get it because people still love it. You still love it.
It's something that like it's just in your head. You just get it. Like some people like certain shit. Some people it does it for them. For me, it does it for me. Like I want to hear like vamping on like a couple of different chords for like 5 minutes at a time because I'm like, all right, that's fun. I like doing that. I like doing that on my own. Like when I play music, I'll explore a little bit. I don't play solo the same way twice because like fuck that. That's boring.
And do you feel part of like the like community? Because I know that's a huge aspect of Phish. Everyone hangs out on Lot.
I feel part of the community more so, not necessarily on Lot. Lot's just kind of like weird and like it's weird. It's cool. It's like a cool thing to see, like going to like a circus or something.
Right.
But like it's cool like that. But like when you're actually
I went to a Phish lot once when they came to the Mullins Center. I was like, I'm not gonna go to the show, but I'm gonna hang out on
You're
the
gonna hang
lot.
out on Lot.
It was fine.
were people running tank there? Were they like?
Oh, the Nitrous Mafia. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the Nitrous Mafia because that's one of the songs for sure. Yeah, they probably were.
But like, it's like when you're there and like everyone's like, when you're actually in the show, everyone there is having the time of their life.
Right.
Everyone there is having the greatest time they could possibly have right now.
So is it a cult?
And that.
Like, is everybody just convinced of this thing and that you've invested so much time in it that you really can't, like, and it's kind of harmless. I mean, who cares if it's...
I wouldn't call it a cult. It's just a lot of people getting together and enjoying an experience.
Is it a collective hallucination?
Like any concert. Would you say like going, like people like Taylor Swift selling out Boston Garden, is that a cult?
But do they follow her around? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is. There's this whole like subculture that surrounds it of people who really identify. That's like the first most important thing about them is that they're Phish fans.
Right. I never got into like that aspect of the lifestyle of like following them and like doing all that. But like, no, you're right. There's
so that's a little culty.
It is a little culty, but it's also like these people who are doing it. Like that's also like their source of income. Like they're art sellers and they fucking sell drugs and like all kinds of shit that you can do very easily while you're following Phish around.
So there's like a whole economy within the Phish community. Like it's like a lot Etsy.
Exactly. It's its own like little marketplace.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brent's.
I mean, that's kind of neat. Like let's just admit it. That's kind of neat.
We'll support some DIY artisans. Yeah, we do on Make It Stop. I guess
much like ICP, for better or worse, like Phish like tapped into this zeitgeist and created a huge subculture.
Right, exactly.
And it's just
here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are in it. This is the white tape.
This
is
the white tape. And we're here with our friend Mitch, who decided this was a good way for us to reunite. Should we get into the music? Because, so this album has 2 sides because it was a tape. It has 9 songs on the first side and 7 on the other side. The total length is 54 minutes too long. We're going to do a double back to back.
We'll see how
as we mentioned, a lot of these songs are really not songs. And you'll see why. So
I think we can do 2 at a time with this.
Yeah,
with this many tracks, I think that's what we've established because the episode's going to be an hour and a half no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. That's what we found out about ourselves. We know ourselves now. Okay, so let's get into Alumni Blues off the white tape. The white tape.
I had no hat on my head and no shoes on my head. But I'm alright. It's alright. I'm alright. It's alright. I'm alright.
and you just heard Alumni Blues and Soda Bed, the first two songs off of the white tape. Boys.
Well, Mitch, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So Alumni Blues, I'm going to throw it back to something I mentioned earlier about
shoes being on your head?
About shoes being on my head. Where it's just like, it's like, okay, this is like a solid song. This sounds like a Phish song. This actually sounds like a song, which is not something we're going to have to deal with a lot on this album. But
it's true.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I like it. I like the groove. I like the bouncing around and the guitar work and the solos. But even I have to admit that the lyrics in this are completely awful.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bad lyrics on this.
There's
the only lyrics on this album are bad lyrics, actually. Is there a single, like, insightful, like, thoughtful lyric on this entire album?
Well, we'll get to that.
I mean, so the answer is no. So, sorry, spoiler alert.
Maybe Minkin has something to say.
yeah, maybe Minkin. Let's ask him. No, this is, it's trash.
Isn't it true? Like, Phish has their own lyricist.
I don't think they were using him
this
point for all of this. But even so, like, I mean, a lot of, like, stuff I feel about Phish, like, later on, when they're using their lyricists, they're still writing songs that are a lot of the time on this level of lyrical craftsmanship.
It seems like the lyrics are, like, very asinine, like, in general for Phish, I feel like, right? Like, the lyrics don't really seem to matter.
It's
about the jams, am I right?
For the most part.
There's
a couple songs that are more heartfelt and all that, but, like, for the most part, their lyrics are kind of a crapshoot, and it's just kind of like, oh, this sounds fun to yell when I'm, like, listening to the song live.
Yeah.
So it's actually interesting. I just looked up the lyrics to this, and it almost does have kind of a point. And if it does, then it's definitely all downhill from here. But he is talking about, my old lady lying next to me. I started to cry. She said, "I'm going to take this diploma. I'm going to slice you in the eye." Well, I'm all right. As you heard, he's all right. Times 9. Let me just repeat that. Times 9. And I'm going to repeat that. Times 9. No, just kidding.
Also, times 9 of 2.
Yes.
Of I'm all right and he's all right.
And he's all right.
That's
18 that's right.
All
that's
right.
18 all rights, just so you get the memo.
All right.
Because I got...
all right. Times 9.
Times 9.
Look, here's
Guys,
my
we're
thing
grasping
with this
at
song.
straws.
Here's my thing with Alumni Blues is, like, it's not, musically it's not bad. It's like your basic blues track that you can go to any bar in New Orleans and there's some white guys who are the same age that Phish are right now basically playing this. And, like, you know what? That's fine. I have a good time in New Orleans. I enjoy that shit. But my problem with Alumni Blues is that I feel that it does not give the proper respect to the influences. You know what I mean? It just seems a little for them to be this goofy and flippant with it, just playing a blues jam. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know.
Okay, that was a grand point by Mike Dunn. And
well, Mitch was going to say something.
You don't need to take the song and, like, if you're trying to do the blues song, just turns into, like, a weird percussion.
Well, it's just
and bug noises solo at the end of it.
And
like
bug noises, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
This entire album is just bug noises. I mean, you're right. And also,
with,
again,
synth
similarly,
xylophones.
Yeah, and with the, like, barely there storyline, maybe he did get arrested. It's the most white arrest ever, and, like, I know after being a white person was arrested for fucking drugs and one point. This is one of those, and oh my God, what was the fucking point? Oh, you were talking about
me and you both.
Shut up. It was because you were talking about the blues and white kids in college doing the blues, and that's actually the most perfect, I got a problem that, I got arrested for weed and my mom got mad at me,
now I got shoes on my head.
And now I got shoes on my head. It's the most empty, like, the stakes are very low in this blues riff, you know what I mean? I'm supporting your earlier point.
You know what this song could really use is a nice harmonica solo from my boy Bruno.
That's what I need. Give me some.
This will be right at home on a Return of Bruno. The one thread of all the albums we reviewed, the one that ties into every other album is
the Return of Bruno.
The Return of Bruno by Bruce Willis.
Who'd have thunk it?
Like in the Make It Stop pantheon, like I feel like that might be the most.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is definitely on our Mount Rushmore of Farrah Abraham.
Bruce Willis, Farrah Abraham, Hester Prynne, and it's a tough choice.
Oh, I know that final spot.
Kid Cudi? I don't know.
Ooh, I don't want to give him any more
Broken
attention.
Side?
His new album's good.
Yeah, but which I mean,
I couldn't tell you what anyone in Broken Side looks like. It's just all bangs.
It's just a haircut. Yeah, it's just exactly that. Thank you. All right, moving on.
We didn't talk about the second song.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not a
moving
song.
on. I repeat myself.
We gotta at least give the little thing. We couldn't play it in our little podcast with our samples, but Alumni Blues ends with a synth xylophone solo that gets accompanied by bug noises, and then turns into a car turning on.
Oh yeah,
and starting up, and then driving and crashing. And then
that's And So to Bed. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's how they transition between the two songs. With a xylophone solo and a car crash.
Yeah,
I wrote
a dissonant synth xylophone.
Oh, of course. I wrote a child xylophone and a car crash is the perfect opening note to this insipid album for Space Case adult toddlers.
I just don't know what they're trying to accomplish. Are they trying to be like Frank Zappa? Is this like? Are they like? Did they just love Revolution Number 9 by the Beatles?
Oh yeah, that was something I read on some related article that I.
Oh, did you? I just pulled that out of my ass.
Actually, yeah, no, that was one of these songs. Somebody described it as that. It's fucking stupid. It's later though. It's a different song. Anyway, I literally my notes are: when does the fucking song start? It's 3 minutes in and the song hasn't started.
Right.
And then why do I get the feeling that I'll be begging for the relative whimsy of this child's lullaby by the end of this tape? Because honestly, And So to Bed is one of the least offensive tracks because it's pointless background noise.
It's just Trey.
It's hold music.
No, this was Trey. This was
Trey. This is Trey practicing guitar.
Right, exactly. Exactly. That is the vibe that I get from all of this shit. The same thing, with fucking improv. Like, you have a bunch of bullshit that you just don't include in your final tape. But this was all that bullshit in a tape.
But I mean, they didn't put it out until after they were big, and they're like, "Hey!" But
and they knew that they could make.
Does that make it work?
Does that
make it? No, wait, they didn't though.
They
it was
handed
out.
It out to fans. It shows.
Oh,
they were
God.
like, "Here's us. You liked that? Check this out." And So to Bed. Did they play that song live?
No.
I looked up. Did this ever become a real song? Like, is this like something for like a Phish fan to be like, "Oh, cool. This is like the original like sketch."
There's some of those.
No.
This is not one of them. Though.
No.
So what's the point?
There is
Mitch,
no
what is the
point. That's
it's
the whole
just
point.
Like a snapshot into like what these geniuses who like create all this music we love. Like that's what was going through their heads when they were starting it all out, man. When they had the idea.
Ugh.
It's like reading Sartre's War Diaries, man.
All right, that's garbage. Let's move on to the next two songs, which are "You Enjoy Myself," which speak for yourself, Trey, and AC/DC Bag. So let's listen to those real quick and.
From you, I got a feeling we know what you did. AC/DC bang, AC/DC bang, AC/DC.
All right.
Are we doing the Simpsons Sing the Blues again? Because I'm gonna be Marge groaning throughout the entire rest of this fucking album. God, it's so stupid.
Smithers.
Easy back.
Wait, is that Kid Cudi making an appearance?
Yeah. Here we are.
All right, so You Enjoy Myself first. Let's get that out of the way because
This wasn't actually what You Enjoy Myself sounds like. You Enjoy Myself is probably like a 10-minute long song. This is literally just an a cappella renditioning of the intro. And they're like, hey, let's put the intro to this. Instead of playing it with our instruments, let's do an a cappella version of the intro of this song and then hand it out to people and see if they'll want to come like hear us play the actual song on real instruments.
Yeah, or did they even have the rest of the song written at that point? Or did they write it sequentially, and all they had so far was the intro? But it was so good they had to put it on the album.
think they had the intro done at least on real instruments, probably something after that, but for some reason all they wanted to do was just do it a cappella and put just that out.
Yeah, because this became like their most famous song. Like, why wouldn't, if this is your first demo, come on. This is it's confounding.
Even if it's not like the full version of it, go like
it is
a
true.
stanza into it and like your actual things. Like not just like this nonsense like a cappella fuckery.
It is true white dude hubris. Hubris. I know how to pronounce that word. It is white dude hubris to think that you can fucking put out that and call that a demo for, again, like you said, one of your most famous fucking songs. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. This is fucking Raffi for acid casualties. Like, this is not good. It's not good. It's not good. What is there to say?
I mean, well, look, I know you hate a cappella music in general, Heather.
I hate a cappella. I hate jam bands. I hate white dudes.
Hey.
I know. It's
right
true.
here.
Yeah.
I know. You hate them too.
Some of them. A lot of them. I wrote for this track, I'm already very fed up with the goofiness of these dweebs. It's very goofy. It's goofy. It's the point. It's like the fans like the goofy shit, right?
Yeah,
Mitch. Like
that's kind of part of it. But like even this is like, I feel like this is taking it too far, and maybe I'm not a hardcore enough fan to be like, oh yeah, I'm glad that they did this. I'm glad that in '86 they thought this was a good idea to give out to people. I'm glad in '98 they decided it was a good idea to put it out on CD, and I'm glad in 2011 they put it out on vinyl.
And yet it's timelessly terrible. Like, I feel like all of those, it does not evolve. Even like if you were to look at Phish over the course of their career, I mean, obviously, like this kind of album might be an outlier because they were still in college, but like, is there a trajectory here, or is it still the same fucking song over and over and over again for 30 years?
This one was short, at least.
Mitch, that's your answer.
That's my
it was short.
Well, no, this
That's
wasn't
what
even
I
it though.
said.
This
I know,
wasn't. This wasn't even the song though. So it's like that's why I'm confused. I'm always confused by it. It's like
okay, but I'm talking about in the career of Phish, in the whole life trajectory, right? From a little fish egg, a little pupa piece of roe to a fishbone. Why is there any growth with this band?
I'd say that eventually they decided to stop putting on acapellas of intros to the songs, but I do think they grow. They get better like within themselves and like as songwriters to a certain extent. But like,
I mean, if you do a thing over and over again, like I guess you would get better at it. But is there?
Yeah, do the jams
is there any
get
growth?
better over
Is
time?
it ever get different, or is it because that is the thing?
There's different eras. It sounds different, like depending on like which era you're listening to it too. It's like gonna have like a different feel of like where they were at the moment.
But this came out in 3 different decades. Their career, 86. God, that's too many years. That's 30 years.
Well, they took a break.
Yeah, they took a couple breaks, but honestly, I don't know why they kept thinking it was a good idea to put this out.
Well, because it makes them a shitload of money. This is a subculture. This is people's lives. Somewhere out there right now, a dude is putting this on a mixtape he's making for his new girlfriend.
Do people make mixtapes? Nobody makes mixtapes.
A playlist on Spotify, whatever.
Okay, let's be clear.
But let's move on to the actual song.
The real song we got in this one?
Yeah, the AC/DC Bag.
Yeah.
So... This is like
there's some nice word salad they're cooking up for us right now.
Ooh, yeah. It was the Tasty Type 1.
So it's because the name is after, or the song is called that because it's the notes that they're playing.
It's the chord progression, only it's not actually the chord progression because there's an F where the B would be, and they didn't want to call the song that.
Well, then why would you do the song? Wait, so there was going to be an F word slur on this...
Yes.
What?
But that's just what the chords were. That's what the chords were.
So then don't make that the name of the song or the reasoning behind it.
Well, no, the reasoning behind it, it's part of a whole overall, their concept album, and AC/DC Bag is some executioner that, like, cuts off...
Shut up.
No.
Shut up.
No, hold on. I want to hear this.
Amongst Phish, there was a concept album that came out early, super early, like probably right after this.
Okay.
Called Gamehenge, or The Man Who Stepped Into Yesterday. And this is basically the story of...
I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on. I heard about this.
Gamehenge?
This was not only a concept album. This was Trey Anastasio's college thesis.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It was his
Did
college
he go
thesis.
to Hampshire?
No, they went to UVM.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, what it is, so here's a brief synopsis of the story. This guy, Cornel Forbin, gets sucked through like some kind of time portal, ends up in Gamehenge, where Wilson had stolen the Helping Friendly book from the lizards, who needed the Helping Friendly book to survive. And
Go on.
Do you hear yourself? Are the headphones
Do you enjoy
working?
myself?
Do you, like, what?
So go on. I need more.
Do we?
Yes.
So,
Okay,
I live
so
for this shit.
Wilson's the big bad guy in the story, and his executioner is AC/DC Bag, and the song's about AC/DC Bag killing Mr. Palmer,
This
who
is
was
the
a
Great
rebel
Malenko.
against Wilson.
Yes.
This is a great Malenko. This is the fucking
So-
what was his name? The vengeance guy.
Yeah. Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
So anyway, AC/DC Bag is Wilson's executioner who stole the Helping Friendly book from the lizards, and Colonel Forbin had to come through a time portal.
Can't believe
and
this.
Have the famous mockingbird fly him something to
Wait.
Go
to,
on. Wrap
so he could defeat Wilson and give the Helping Friendly book back to the lizards because they didn't know how to live without it. It
What
like
is-
taught them life. It taught them how to like cook
Why?
and shit.
Why?
Oh, yeah, is that what I was going to ask? What's in the
Why?
Healthy Friendly book?
It's like instructions on how to like live life. Like
it's
So
it's
fucking-
essentially a Bible. Like
oh my
it's-
god.
Oh my God!
It is ICP.
This is the same
It's
shit as
ICP.
ICP. And wait, let me guess. So this mythology
Yeah,
goes
there's-
on throughout their
there's
discography, right? There's more to this story.
Oh
as
yeah,
their
there's like
career
a bunch
goes
of songs. It's like it's an album plus worth of songs that are about this. And like every once in a while, a new
Wait.
song like gets added into the
Is
mix.
it like a traditional, like kind of Christian good and evil with like a
Yeah.
clear, yeah? Oh,
Mitch,
Mitch,
do you know
you're a
that
juggalo.
this is the same thing
you're
as the
it
Juggalos?
literally is the
I
same
assume
thing.
so. Like basically,
And Kiss maybe also a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, they only had that one concept album. They were done.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
they have their own mythology. you
Right.
know?
like
Right.
they are the mythology.
Right.
The band is the mythology. In
right.
Kiss.
That's what I'm saying. It has a lot in common with them, but especially with ICP.
Especially the Juggalos.
and
also the fact that it's like a subculture unto itself, and they have their own huge festivals. That people
Oh, it's the
Jesus.
same shit. It's the same shit.
Right, and then
Juggalos,
people-
Phish
yeah.
fans, like
And then it
dead
has a-
people.
and also
and that you can make DIY Juggalo merchandise, and you can be a Juggalo artisan and sell your Juggalo crystals. It's the fucking same.
You know, yep, it's pretty much the same thing.
Juggalo crystals are actually meth.
It's like it's not like a cult. They
Well,
don't.
well, Christian mythology, good and evil.
The more we're going in on this, and the more like
Yeah.
I actually. I need to remind everyone that I spent money on this. I bought this. I purchased this with money at one point. I didn't stream it for free. Like I purchased the actual version of this. And the more we're going on, the more I think you're convincing me that it's a cult.
well, at least it's like a kind of cult where
Well,
you like can do
oh,
drugs
you
and then
bu-
have sex and stuff.
Right.
I feel
It's like the Rajneeshis.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Trey Anastasio is not the Bhagwan Rajneesh, please.
He is poisoning salad bars all across the Midwest.
And this is my favorite Phish standard. Sheila is a bitch.
Well, we just figured everything out, so I don't know why we need to continue with this podcast.
How does it happen? How does this music, which essentially is just like longer versions of songs that you can hear a dad band play at Hampton
Oh my
Beach,
God.
like how did this become a cult? How does it happen? That's
Nobody
what
knows.
blows
It
my
just
mind
does.
about Phish.
It just does. Nobody knows.
And ICP and like
I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it. I feel like we went down a wormhole that we're never gonna get out of. Should we go on to the next song? I mean,
Can I say something before we go into the story of AC/DC Bag? Can I just say something about the way the music made me feel?
Yes.
use I statements. Please.
I think I figured out what one of the main things that bothers me about Phish.
Go on.
I like music that you can bob your head to, right? You know, like you bob your head to it. Whether it's
Right.
whether it's funk and you're in the
There's
pocket
a
and you're
beat.
like, and you got the stank face on, or whether it's punk and you're like kind of head banging a little bit. With
or
Phish-
hip hop, and you have a hand in
yeah,
the
and
air.
you got the hand in it. With Phish, you can't really bob your head to this music. You have to.
It's all
you
shoulders.
have to wiggle your head.
It's
all
white people
shoulders.
music
You have
for
to
white
wiggle
people.
your head in like a circular motion, and I hate doing that.
And why would you do that?
You have to move like a hippie idiot when you listen to this. It's the
Yeah.
only appropriate dance.
And that's a problem?
That's a problem for me. It's fine, whatever floats your boat. But for me, I feel so uncomfortable with the way this music makes my head move.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we had that moment, and we should move on because there's a lot of songs, and
Right.
we did already just figure out everything. I'm pretty sure. So we'll just play them all back to back. No, we're gonna play. Let's see. Oh God, fucking Christ,
Heather, what's the song? What's the next song
the
called?
next song is called "Fuck Your Face."
Is it a Lil B song or?
It's a Phish song. We're still here. After that, we're gonna listen to "The Divided Sky."
All right.
So,
All right.
Let's go and do that.
Guess it's not the singing type, it would rather yell and spit. If you don't think you like this guitar, you're really asking for shit. Cause when I get mad, I get red, and then I start to steam. This guitar is gonna fuck your face, cause it knows how to scream.
God, are we done yet? Ooh,
So fuck your face.
fuck you. What do you say to me?
This is the first of the songs. Like a lot of this song was like just Trey or like some of the stuff, like a couple members of the band. There are a few songs that are just Mike Gordon, the bassist, just fucking around. This is one of them, and you'll be able to tell when they come up.
So yeah, no, I did start to take note after like the second song where I was like, who the fuck wrote this? And it was also Mike Gordon. But yeah, this was definitely like the first one that I like laughed out loud to, at least.
I will say,
it is, super punk.
hey, you know what? In this song's defense, it's more of a blues song than
and
alumni
we're done with
blues.
the sentence. What did you say?
I said it's more of a blues song than alumni blues.
Sorta.
You just
yeah.
tried to
I
defend
mean,
the song. I don't want to hear that in my presence right
Wait.
now.
How is it? I mean,
What?
I don't know. It feels angrier.
It does have that raw.
Who is Mike Gordon trying to
energy.
intimidate? You, the listener?
Yeah, he's gonna fuck your face.
Fuck you.
That's right. Yeah, he's so mad he gets really red.
Fuck your face because he bought because he bought a guitar or something.
Yeah,
like,
he bought a
what is
guitar and it didn't work.
and it didn't
he's-
work. I went to the whoa. It
That's-
made no sound, and I plugged it into the whoa.
It's another asinine song where the lyrics don't matter at all.
First world white kid and UVM problems.
I don't know why I ever tried to defend this. Like, I'm
See,
looking
this
back,
is like the.
I'm looking back at myself like 30 seconds ago and just cursing it.
See, this show really is about personal growth, I would say. We're really doing the Lord's work.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, look, Alumni Blues was also bad, so you might be
Yes.
right.
Yep. It's fucking so stupid. They rap in this song. And also, they can't deliver the lines in sync, even when it's clearly just layering one vocal track.
No, it's way off beat. I almost think that he just recorded the guitar and then did the vocals separately and just looking
With,
at the
like, a
waveform and
delay.
trying to guess.
Ugh.
Or not even, they didn't have waveforms back then. He was looking at the needle on the EQ on his mixer and trying to guess when he should come in because he's so off.
It's
and
so
he plays bass.
stupid.
You need to have rhythm for that. Like, what's even happening, Gordo? What's happening, buddy? Why can't you deliver your lines
It's
on?
fucking trash.
Was this guy on drugs or something?
Probably. We'll get into that later.
Again, stop. Like drugs are great sometimes, and in this case, like no amount of drugs could make this good. I'm sorry. Like no amount of drugs is gonna make that song good.
But
well,
like,
the song is just fucking around. It's
I
not
know.
a song.
like it comes back to things like, oh well, they were just fucking around. But why was it released if they were just fucking around?
And
Like,
why
they
did
were
people
trying-
buy it? Why did how
they-
many people buy it?
Like still, like it was written for somebody. Like it was released for somebody. Somebody must have. They thought someone needed to hear this, and
Right.
they did. Like, I don't know.
people, I went on Rate Your Music, and like we for a while we've been going on Rate Your Music trying to find out like what's the worst jam band album. And you can't ever find out because jam band fans just rate everything highly. They like all of it. This shit has 5-star reviews on Rate Your Music with people being like, yo, the version of AC/DC Bag on this album is fucking tight.
But even if it has a couple hidden gems, you just still rate it like 3 stars.
But it doesn't have any hidden gems.
It has no gems, and it's abundantly clear.
And also, this song is fucking around. The next song, Divided Sky,
how many
is
adjectives?
also fucking around.
It's just him
How many
practicing guitar
synonyms do
again.
we have for
Okay,
It's like
bad?
on a 12-string. Let's hear how this sounds on the mic.
Divided
Okay.
Sky actually turned into a real song.
No.
Did it?
No,
Yes.
it didn't.
Yes, it did. Divided
No.
Sky. Still, it's a mostly instrumental song. The only lyrics is that divided sky and the wind blows high. Like, it's that. That's the only lyrics. But that's if you see that live, like that's like a badge of honor among Phish people.
Ooh,
like
it's
that's
a
a rarity.
rare.
That's a rarity.
No, at
bust
this
that one
point,
out.
I'm realizing
Collect this.
that there has not been a single song so far on this fucking album, and that this
No. We had AC/DC Bag, please, mind you.
We had Alumni Blues.
Shut up. The Divided Sky is like a song.
It's an intro.
Composed entirely of a 3rd grade field trip to the Museum of Science and jumping up and down on the stairs.
Yeah, it would be good montage music, I guess.
No, that literally sounds like the Museum of Science stairs, the musical stairs when you step on them.
Oh, those ones.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like those. It's like a 3rd grade fucking field trip to the Museum of Science, put to record and sold to people for money that you paid.
Yeah, like Record Store Day, usually those shits go for like $30
Those are big
or
deals.
something.
Oh, God. They're spitting in our face at this point. All right.
Do you feel like they're spitting in your face, Mitch?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. You know, but anyone that actually
do you think they're saying these idiots will buy anything, or like?
Oh, they are definitely saying
yes,
that.
that's
They are
exactly
definitely
what
saying
they're
that.
saying.
They are definitely saying that.
Well, they're saying these idiots will buy anything.
Or is this like, are they? Do people feel like they're actually doing them a favor? Like, finally, the white tape is out on vinyl.
I don't know.
Those people
I
are
don't know.
out there, right?
Yeah, they are. But like, I don't.
How do you get?
I don't
to
know
that
if I've
point?
met them, but like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Someone.
I don't know. We became juggalos after an episode, Mike.
I gotta say, and I'm sorry,
Yeah, after
that ICP album was so fucking much better than this
It
album.
really is. It really is.
was
If I'm going to
really
join any
good.
cult, I'm definitely joining the Juggalos before I join any fucking jam band traveling Fessy crew.
You know what? Say what
All
you
right,
will
well,
about
it's
ICP,
just like
but
don't mellow my buzz, man.
say what you will about ICP, but that album was focused. It had a narrative. It was a complete vision.
Right, there was a beginning, middle, and end.
And this-
end being the primary part that
and this
I
album-
am concerned with.
This album is like, it's like just what it's
A
like. They,
deflating fucking whoopee cushion.
like I feel like they had just recorded like dozens of demos just for their own use to be like listen back to and write new parts over, and they just maybe all of them were burned into fire except for this one, and they were like, well, all right, well, this is all we have left, and we forgot every other song. I can't even figure out why would you put this out.
I don't know.
Under what
I don't know.
circumstances?
Because they're making money.
And even if you
'Cause
put
they're
it out,
making
even if
money.
you put it out in '86 when you were first getting started, and you're just handing it out to people, and like, okay, maybe that'll get people. Why do you put it back out?
No.
Why?
Twice.
Were the fans
Twice.
were the fans clamoring
Twice.
for it? Were the fans emailing Trey being like, Trey, you gotta drop the white tape?
I don't know. It was getting like traded like on the underground, like as like here's the white tape. Like you should hear this. It's like their old shit. Like, and I think it would have done fine
I
if it
hate
had just like only
all of
had.
this.
If it only had like an underground release or whatever, and like never had an official leak, then it'd be fine. Then I wouldn't care about it. Then I wouldn't have suggested you. Then I wouldn't have suggested that we do it on this episode.
And then where would we
Well,
be?
I was gonna,
Exactly.
I was gonna say. I mean, I'm sure there's all types of recordings, demo recordings, and show recordings that the fans are into and trade around. But that Phish isn't like, no, we're not gonna do that. But then again, if you search for Phish on Spotify, there are like fucking like 50-something albums.
No.
Yes, and it's so,
No.
look at
It's
all
like
look at
all
this. I'm
live stuff,
scrolling
yeah,
through it.
yeah.
Look at this. Look at
No.
over 50 albums. So they actually do. I feel like they do just release everything, huh? Also, how many shows has
Can we
Phish
move
played?
on?
All right,
we get
go
a lot
on.
of fucking songs to deal with here.
Yeah, we
And
just
I've already my patience has been trade. Get it?
Should we do 3 on the next one?
All right, I don't even know. All right, what are the next 3? So we have...
Yeah, we can definitely do 3 on the next one.
So we have Slave to the Traffic Light, Aftermath, and Ingest.
Yeah, and one of those is a song.
Combined, all 3 of them make maybe a third of a song.
What the fuck is happening?
What? Why?
Hey, I like Slave to the Traffic Light.
Oh my God!
You know what?
Okay, well, all right.
Let's start there.
Yes,
Let's
yes. Go ahead.
I also liked Slave to the Traffic Light.
It sounds like an intro to a Flaming Lips song.
I thought it sounded like Joni Mitchell a little bit, and you know what? I liked it. I could bob my head to it.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. That hits a da-da-da, and it hits a beat. Yeah. There's a beat there.
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
The one, I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna go out and ever listen to that song ever again.
No.
But
it's music I wouldn't mind having on in the background, like to a bath.
So I'm slowly starting to win you over.
Nope.
I could almost see myself.
The next song will make me take the radio next to my bath and drop it in, still plugged into an outlet. So
I could almost see myself like at a party and someone puts a song on and I go, "Oh, what's this?" And they'll say, "Oh, it's Phish," and I'll go, "Oh."
Yeah.
But I'll ask the question in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's true.
It's some nice music to pretend to be deep to.
But then. The next 2 tracks, Aftermath and Ingest.
I don't understand it at all. So Aftermath, it starts out with like this like air traffic control, like
it's like
tarmac liftoff. Like, okay.
It's someone opening like the door on a plane, like while they're already up in the air. It's just like
yes, it's Southwest Airlines.
Except I think what it actually is literally just fucking around with the delay pedal.
Yes,
that's what so much of this is.
It is, and it's also just like juxtaposed like in between cheesy 70s like love ballad strings and like you know just to remind you that these guys are far out, man. Like they don't follow the rules.
This is a nice blend of like the studio fuckery nonsense songs and the acoustic wankery nonsense songs. They're both in this one. You get them both.
Yeah, you only cut the sample from the airline fucking engine noise, but there is like more just strumming of acoustic 12-string guitars in this too, right? Like,
yeah, it's like some parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme shit, except it's just like oregano pre-roll in the parking lot shit. It's dumb.
And then more of that.
Also, the white noise static is the highlight of the song. Like,
do they do that on later albums? Do they do more of this like noise?
Every album, a lot of their albums have like a song of it, where there's just like this weird like nonsense for like a song's worth, or like a 2-minute song's worth, and then like the rest of it is actual songs. But this is just like every 2 out of 3 songs is just nonsense on this album.
And do they ever like do that live and just jam out on it for like a half hour of like
on like their white noise, like dust in the wind? Like what the fuck?
Not anymore.
So
maybe in like the 90s at some point, maybe the 80s they did. Like they have songs that are like weird a cappella things that someone comes out and plays a vacuum cleaner over. But like
why?
So
why?
Yeah, there's a third song we played and it's called Ingest, and that was the one that was like. That's the whole song.
It's just like
if there was anything other than like just that synth riff and the guy laughing on this track,
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's spanking.
Yeah,
like
if there's anything other, if there was like actual like
get that
drums
from it.
involved, then like it might actually be kind of cool. But it's just like that. And the guy laughing every once in a while.
It just sounds like they threw on a Cronenberg movie.
It also could be on that ICP album.
No.
Yeah,
ICP
because it's
is
like this weird pseudo spooky. Whoa.
No, if it was an ICP album, it would be that, but it would be going.
That's literally what the song is. He just goes.
It's just not a juggler.
It's
laugh.
not. It's not an evil clown laugh.
Okay, but it's literally the same thing, like structurally and conceptually. It's stupid and it's bad. And the best part of the song was I was listening to it on YouTube and I had an ad that I was forced to listen to about durable, lightweight sandal wear for dads. And that was the best part of the song. That was the part of the song that wasn't the song.
I liked that these two songs that we just did them because I have literally nothing else to say about them. We can just move on.
Let's move on. All right, we're gonna go right into the next song here.
Oh, this one
which
we
we're
should
gonna
just
keep
do
on its own solo.
This needs to be by itself.
Yeah, so there's a lot to discuss here. This is NO2. If you're into chemistry, you might know what they're referring to.
Except they used the wrong equation.
Yes.
There we go. There we go. Almost done. Okay. How does that feel?
Well.
Okay. Like the real version of that song, you got a 30-second or 20-second bite of it.
Yep.
That song's like 8 minutes long.
It's all tooth drilling music.
Dude, I have like severe anxiety about going to the dentist. Like, this is the worst thing in the world is going to the dentist.
Yeah.
And like this song, I know it's just they're just making the noises with the delay pedal, but it like really puts me there.
Yeah,
no,
it does.
they definitely like encapsulate how awful it is to go to the dentist. Like
And
all the
yet
drill noises and like
The drilling sound is almost the most bearable part of this album because
why wouldn't the dentist hang up his phone though? Like at the start of this song, it's just like it starts with like a phone being off the hook noise for like 30 seconds.
Is that supposed to be? That's supposed to be like a drill. Well, I mean, they're just using like a analog delay.
It's a metaphor.
It's
a metaphor.
Come on,
But dude. This is like the opposite of ASMR. This is
that is exactly right.
this is just anxiety-inducing
sound.
terror.
Yeah. With you feeling okay?
Yeah, dude. The dentist, who's like,
I do not want a Phish
It
guy
sounds
as a
like
dentist.
fucking what he says like to his wife while they're having sex. I'm like, is this alright? Does this sound feel good? Okay. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's like NO2, obviously the fucking title referencing nitrous oxide.
Right, but as I was saying, it's N2O.
N2O.
It's not even NO2. Like, these guys aren't even good at being drug guys.
I know. And also, like, unlike nitrous, which is at least fun for 20 seconds, this is just unbearable for 7.5 minutes.
well, there's like 20 seconds where it actually kind of sounds like nitrous. Like the clip we
Yeah,
played,
but
it gets
do
like kind of.
Okay. Again, what's the joy in that? There's nothing good about that. Like, I'm not on nitrous, so it's
to put you in the I don't know. And then
no.
it turns. But the thing is,
anything you listen to on nitrous is good. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the deep point of
well, no,
this.
everything you listen to on nitrous just sounds like
Exactly.
But like, and then it turns, but it still manages to turn into like one of those like acoustic guitar circle jerks at some point, like halfway through the song. It's just like starts being guitar,
Right.
and then like, but it still has like weird like delay pedal, like nitrous-y noises going over it and shit.
For like,
I don't know.
It's terrible.
For over 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
like-
honestly.
I literally forgot the song was happening and spaced out for 3 minutes.
No,
and it's still happening.
I was sitting there like tense with goosebumps,
no.
being like, no. I hate going to the dentist so much. It's a serious problem.
I feel like the majority of Phish songs are like composed with the thought that you'll space out for 3 minutes and not notice that it's still going on. Like
Did they make this song for people to do nitrous to, like as like a set piece for that?
I don't know. I think it's like another one that they didn't play live. I think this is another Mike Gordon.
Oh, you don't say. They didn't
right.
play this live.
Well, no, they just bring a telephone. They like bring a telephone and just pick it off the speaker and just hold it up for the start of it and shit. Mike Gordon, dude, stop letting that dude
Cut
be your
it out.
tape recorder.
So this one's just Mike Gordon?
This is another Mike Gordon
One
special.
of my notes was a line from the quote-unquote song, which is, I know it hurts, but it'll be over soon. False fucking advertising, Mike Gordon.
And it goes on for much longer after that.
It still goes on. And then there's some noodly strings, just in case, you wanted, if you thought you had forgotten you were listening to a Phish album, there we are.
But that was a welcome respite. I mean, well, the thing is, we're doing drill noises behind that.
Yeah,
like it was supposed to be like his like nitrous hallucination or something.
He's coming out of he's listening
still
to
getting his teeth operated on horribly in the background by Mike Gordon of all people.
Let's move on. I thought.
Wait, we wanted this to be a standalone because we had so much to say about it, and ultimately our final summation is.
Well, what I realized also is maybe we should have played Fluff's Travels after this, because Fluff's Travels is like literally just the end of the NO2 song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they made it a separate track.
Right.
But I think we can do that and Doggone Gong.
Well, yeah. We'll go ahead and do that.
Stepped upon a log, 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 log. It was a dog log, you hear, and I knew that she was near. It was still steaming.
Boom, 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 boom.
So I think we can just not talk about Fluff's Travels.
Yeah, it's like
my only comments were, I'm not commenting on this garbage anymore, dude, and then I continued to comment.
It's just the end of the last one, only it changes to a minor key, gets a little bit faster, and then changes to different synth. It's like pretty much just the end of NO2.
It's just the ending of the song. It's,
right,
and if they flow together as if they recorded it as the same song, it should have just been one song.
Right, that's literally my comment underneath. I'm not commenting on this garbage anymore. Was, what is even the point of a track listing when the album is just one long recording of people yelling muffledly in a room to each other without having anything to say?
But like,
also, subtitle, College Parties, the mixtape.
Dude, like NO2 is already like 8 minutes long. It could have added on another like minute.
Why
and a
would
half
you even
and
call
one
this a
would've
separate
noticed.
song? It literally, what happened? Who's traveling? Who's Fluff? Where are they going? Because it seems like they went nowhere.
He's obviously on a nitrous oxide trip at the
or
dentist.
Is he the doggone?
The end of the song is his hallucination or something.
Maybe he's the doggone dog.
Well,
I mean, Fluff is the name of a dog.
So doggone dog. Did you read those lyrics, Heather?
Mitch,
you know the lyrics, right?
I don't really though. I just like kind of.
Do you guys know what this song is about?
No, I didn't pull up the lyrics.
You guys don't know what the song is about?
I guess not. Go ahead and educate us.
This song is about stepping in dog shit.
Stop it.
I stepped onto a log. Oh
my God. You're right. It was a dog log, you hear, and I knew that she was near. It was still steaming.
Yeah.
So it's literally about a dog taking a shit.
So it's about a dog taking
a shit.
So you're accurate, like on the actual songs. I'm paying zero attention to the lyrics. I'm just getting down with the groove. That just
How
proves
dare you?
I did not realize that at all.
Oh my God! And the groove is not even good. It's nursery rhyme again. You know.
Actually, I just looked at my notes and I have written, "What the hell is Trey Anastasio singing about?"
He's singing about stepping in dog shit.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
It's like I wrote down, it's as if you asked every dad in the park on a Sunday to put together their best impression of a lounge act and play what they came up with to open for a community softball game.
Yeah, this is the music that dads play at community events.
It is exactly
what
that.
Phish's music is.
And if Shel Silverstein had no sense of humor or cleverness,
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
what is this? What is even happening? It's about dog shit.
And again,
that's the great
it's about
climax.
It's
here,
about dog
folks.
shit, and it sounds like dog shit.
And it smells yes,
Dude,
and
like,
it smells
I
like
can't even,
dog
get him
shit.
down with the solo on this one. It's like the keys and the guitar are just like fighting each other the entire time. Like nothing's actually in front. It's just like clash.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I mean, there's some decent musical progressions, but they just U-turn dramatically into this like pseudo whimsical like nothingness.
And again, you got to wiggle your head to it. You can't even bob your head. It's
It's all on the shoulders. I keep telling you, it's all on the shoulders.
God, shut
you got
up.
to shimmy. You got to do a Steph Curry shimmy
Enough
to it.
with the shoulders.
It's all about the shoulders.
Next.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
all
we're
right,
already
so
on the next.
let's go on to the next one. This song.
He ent to the bog.
Yeah, he ent to the bog.
He ent, E-N-T, to the bog, B-O-G.
Are we doing he ent to the bog by itself, or we're going to do
No,
run like an antelope
let's do
too?
that and run like an antelope. Let's just
All
fucking whip on through it. We ent to the bog, or he ent, whatever, whoever ent. It's not a verb, so it doesn't matter. Who cares? And then another song that we'll hear.
Home on the range. When do hamburgers most enjoy watching TV? During prime time. How do you make a hamburger green? Find a yellow hamburger. Canadian hamburgers your loyalty.
He ent to the
He
bog.
ent to the bog.
He ent to the bog. All right, we only played like a couple, like a 20-section part of that. There's like 5 different parts to that song. None of them make sense. None of them have anything to do with each other. You happen to catch the hamburger popsicle stick joke section of it, which is actually probably the best part of the song. The rest of it is just like,
Yeah, it's them at their most Revolution 9. There's a lot of
Yeah, okay,
hamburger
that
shows.
is the comment. Okay, this was the one. I found this on, I don't know if this was, it was some page. I fucking forget. It was maybe a
You're
Rate
not
Your
going to
Music.
cite your source?
I didn't cite my, I didn't cite my source. It doesn't matter because it's fucking garbage.
Are we going to get sued by some Phish fan?
Who cares?
Who's going to sue us first? The Phish fan
That
who
would
wrote
mean
this
people
or
would
Prince?
have to listen to this. Yeah, exactly.
Prince
Prince from the
dead.
grave.
Yeah, from
No,
the grave.
Prince's
Or
yeah,
Lars
spirit.
Ulrich.
Yeah. This was the quote. Perhaps Home on the Range is not a hamburger's favorite song. This is how it starts. Some hamburgers.
enough already.
So here we go. Some hamburgers might be inclined to name this Mike Gordon again.
Oh, of
What a
course.
Of course, it's a
surprise.
Gordo original.
Fucking Mike Gordon. This Mike Gordon track from Phish's White Tape is their favorite, for it pays curious homage to the hamburger cause, rife with hamburger witticisms.
fuck? Why did you not
That
cite
is
the
a
source? I need to
term.
Well,
seek this person
And
out and like, yell at
originally
them.
called Hamburger by fans prior to the official release of this recording, this sonic construction is reminiscent of the Beatles' Revolution 9. Not coincidentally, portions of this recording were used for Phish's live performance of that Lennon Ono puzzler during the Fab Four with a PH, guys. The Fab Four's White Album, set in Glens Falls, New York on 10/31/94.
So they covered the whole White Album, and then they did He Ent to the Bog
Yes.
as their Revolution number
Yes.
9.
Yep.
So I was right.
Dude, like
What?
other than the hamburger part, I couldn't like take notes on like everything
What?
I was going on. There was just like too much. It was too much nonsense to like process like what the hell was going on.
Well,
in
and
that
that's
song.
what they
Yeah.
want. It's like Trump in the news cycle. Like, they want us to just be totally overwhelmed by fucking information that we can't, parse anything out individually or think critically anymore. So,
I will say
checkmate. He
were-
went to the bog.
there were a couple parts where they just sampled like another song, and it was kind of like a dark wave sample, and I kind of dug it.
Yeah,
Shut
there's a
up.
part
like-
Shut up.
No,
Stop
I'm
it.
telling you, for a couple minutes, Phish the band doesn't play. They sample another song, and I kind of dug it. It sounded
Okay,
like
so
a
the one
Montaubin or
sample
something.
of
There's
the
this, like-
album that isn't Phish is the best part.
There's like this weird like James Bond theme kind of part.
That's what I'm talking about.
That wasn't
Yeah.
actually them, you don't think?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's got to be a sample of something else.
Listen,
maybe
You think that was them? What if they had like horns in it? They
maybe
didn't
Mike Gordon
have that
came
budget.
down. There was synth horns. They've had synth xylophone. I wouldn't put it past them having synth horns.
They couldn't play that synth xylophone to save their
Stop.
lives.
Maybe for like the 5 minutes that Mike Gordon was sober while they made this, like he actually managed to bang that out.
He Enter the Bog is maybe the only one that the Stoppie should actually listen to for context, because there's a lot going on in He Enter the Bog that we just can't cover.
a
I
lot
feel
going
like.
on. Like, quote, some guys once asked me what kind of emotion his words were to. Of course, it's a hamburger. One single large puffy bun with dots on it. Science asked me what the word was. I said, of course, the word is no, ... It, nuvit, weary word.
So this is a cult.
And we're in a cult. Also, my main note about this was maybe this shit is just fucking bad and doesn't have some magical, mystical, hidden meaning. Like, I feel like that's the big thing with Phish and with cults, is there's this, like, you know, like, referential, like, oh, yeah, they played this part, and then when they did the Revolution 9 at their live show, and it's like, it makes sense. Like, no! It could just be, like, Pretty Little Liars, where they never had an ending to begin with, and they just let it go on for 7 seasons, and then all of a sudden, you know, they ended it abruptly with a British twin. Like, it is so useless and so unnecessary. And again, no clear beginning, middle, end, no clear climax, no clear, you know, anything here. It's just not that clever, and I feel like Phish and their fans are super into like thinking about how clever
they need to get their
it
decoder
is.
rings on and figure
Right,
out what does.
whoa.
First of all, He Entered the Bog. Let's start
What
with
does it mean?
the title.
Yes, let's.
He Entered
Mitch,
the Bog.
Mitch,
What? I'm not
Thoughts?
defending this one. I don't know how you could like.
Can
that's
you
like I'm like
translate?
only like I don't have enough thetans to get into this one for like if we're going to
Too
like,
many
I'm-
thetans.
I have too many thetans or not enough thetans. I don't know how thetans work. I don't know how this song works. I don't know why this song is like
Do we
2
even-
minutes of like someone laughing in it.
All right.
like,
Well, first, we're gonna give you these things to hold on to, and let's talk about your engrams real quick.
yeah, let's.
So
Your entgrams.
He engrammed to the bog. So hey, we listened to a second song. Let's just move
Do
on.
we care?
The antelope, Run Like an Antelope.
Did
this
we
is
listen to?
this is a Phish.
this is a classic one. This is
Fan
an old school
favorite.
one. Yeah, people love this song.
They still play this today. They play it quite often, as I
Yeah.
understand it.
I think the last time I saw them, they played this.
What do you think of Run Like an Antelope?
I like it.
I said just because you can play guitar doesn't mean you have a band or something as a song. Followed by, this album is such a structureless, empty fucking musical dick suck. And followed by, how do you play guitar while jacking off at the same fucking time?
I said I never want to hear another acoustic guitar again.
I said this one sounds like a fleshed out version of all the other half-assed acoustic guitar tracks. I'll give it that.
That's
for
true.
that.
That's true. You know,
And
because there's been
the
a
full
lot.
flesh is
Yeah.
also bad.
I do feel like all the other acoustic guitar jerk-offs have been leading up to Run Like an Antelope. Like those, the other
Jesus.
ones were like him trying to figure out how to play Run Like an Antelope, and he figured it out, and they made it. It still is just like, I don't know, like
Bad?
there's the thing with Phish is like,
It's bad?
look,
What-
let
but
me
like-
finish my thought.
Go ahead.
The thing with Phish is like it's all about the the jams and where they go with it and the different directions they take, all
Where
the
they
different
go?
versions of the
Nowhere.
songs,
Nowhere.
all the different versions of the songs they play live, how they evolve over time. But it
They
really,
don't.
when you get down to it, it is the same song, time and time again.
I don't get that. I get what you're saying. I've never felt that. I like this one. It's cool to hear the demo. If this is what they were trying to accomplish with this album, to make people who like the music be like, oh, cool, it's cool to hear the super early demos, they accomplished it with this song and a couple other ones. But for the most part, this album is still complete.
Even
friggin-
this
All right,
song.
so if you want to say that Run Like an Antelope is like, is a bright spot in this album, I think I would agree with that, because it is
That yes.
a more fleshed out song. It's not about stepping in dog shit. It's not.
It's not about wearing shoes on your head.
Listen, it's fleshed out in the sense, like, I mean, I feel like what is good about this music? Does it empower people to think that they are also musicians? Is that kind of the like core element here? Like,
do you feel like you're part of the band?
I feel like I'm enjoying what the band's doing while they're doing it. So like that's what it is. I like enjoying something and like
your shoulders wiggled. I could see you
know,
do it when you were describing
I know,
it.
dude. Like it's like
okay,
catching.
So
it's
it
like,
might just be like a gene that we're missing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a matter. It's like a matter of taste on something. It's like
Yeah,
some
it sure
people got
is.
it. Some people got it. Some people don't. There's an old Jerry Garcia quote where he said basically our music's like licorice. Not everybody likes licorice, but people
I
who
hate
like licorice. But people who like licorice really like licorice.
Who likes
So
licorice?
if you like licorice,
it's a metaphor. It's
okay.
a metaphor.
But
It's
who
like,
likes it? Do you like it?
I like licorice.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah,
do you like
maybe-
black licorice?
I do like black
That's what
licorice.
I'm
That's what they're
that
referring
must be
to.
the gene we're missing.
Okay, we're missing it. It's like some people think cilantro tastes like soap.
Yeah, I don't, but like
I love
it's-
cilantro.
I know we're all white
We
people
are
that
all
love
cilantro fans in this room.
That's one thing we can agree on.
Look, because I know.
Are we done?
Yeah, I want to make it clear here that I don't think people are dumb for liking Phish, and I don't think it's bad to like Phish. No, I'm serious. It's fine. Like everyone's got their own things. Like I like Death Grips. You know what I mean? Like
That's good.
No, I know. Well, we think it's good, but Death Grips is a joke to a lot of people.
Truth
and I
is
understand
objective,
that.
obviously, as we know.
I understand.
Oh no, I completely understand
my
why
truth
people
is
fucking
the
hate on
objective
jam
truth,
bands
right?
all the time. I completely get it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very easy thing to hate on. I get it.
It's
I understand
so
the criticisms of it. It's like,
and it's so like again, it's like you have all the time in the world to go nowhere.
But I just don't want to make people feel bad because they like it.
That's fine. I know. I did make people feel bad. About liking
I don't want to make people feel bad for liking it because it
might
is.
want to.
Look, I
No, we have a lot of really great friends that we do respect and love that like Phish.
Right.
Is it like liking Trump? No. But is it close? Yes.
I don't think it's on the same thing. They're not hurting
I know,
anybody.
I know.
Like,
they're not hurting anybody. I think
It's
that's the
true.
important thing, even though they're a cult.
They're so aggressively harmless that might be the thing I hate
That's
about them
maybe
the
the
most.
problem, yeah.
That
Yeah.
might be the thing I hate about them the most is that they're so like offensively inoffensive. You know, they're just so
They
unambitious.
do their thing. They come in when they're on tour and they flood out a neighborhood for a little bit and then they're gone. And it's like, that's what's there to hate.
Yeah, and I think like I can come up with all these like highfalutin reasons why Phish is bad, and I could. But at the end of the day, the real reasons I think Phish is bad is because I don't like the way that their music makes my head move, and I think that their timbres are just too plinky and wiggy, and it's just repulsive to me.
And it's,
you know what? It's just the way that I have come into my own as a human being.
Well,
I know what I like, and like Phish is just outside of that bubble.
well, and it's also the laziest white dude approach to making music. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's just roll the tape and like keep
that's
all of it. You know what I mean? I
Right.
think that's fucking garbage. I think it's white dude entitlement, and I'm over
This
it.
album for sure is that.
Yeah.
And would it kill him to just have one song, just a song that's like, duh, 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 duh.
No.
Just a regular beat.
I thought you were just going
a
to stay with
regular
just
beat.
one song because I don't think we've listened to a single song on this fucking album.
But it's fine. I'm done airing my grievances with Phish
All right.
en masse. This album, though,
is
let's
trash.
just get to the last two. And,
Yeah,
Last two?
and,
Okay.
and then we'll
wrap it up.
people will see what we're talking about.
Yeah, these are easy. These are easy.
Yeah. All right. These next two songs are
Minkin and Letter to Jimmy Page.
those are the ones.
They're absolutely stunning.
Mom, can we go out and buy a Marjorie Minkin painting, please?
After you eat your dinner.
Yes, you can buy your own paintings, fresh from the Minkin studio.
Minkin.
Minkin. Minkin. Wow, what a way to close out the album. First, you got a skit of them doing like a public access like parody.
Yes.
Chronicle episode about some local artist that no one's ever heard of. There's probably like some college friend. Who gives a fuck?
Hey, do you want to know who wrote this song? Can you guess?
Oh, I have a guess. Mike fucking Gordon.
My boy Gordo.
Your boy Gordo.
And then, how do you close the whole thing out? Oh, it's just a minute long.
Letter to Jimmy Page.
Just practicing guitar again.
Yep. Minkin.
That's the closer.
That's
okay. I'll point out like Run Like an Antelope ends on like some weird part where it just like goes to this weird applause for like the last 30 seconds of that song. It's just like random like B-roll applause noises.
Yeah.
They could have just ended it there.
They should have.
But they had to go to fucking
Right.
Minkin. There's people calling in. There's mothers. There's daughters. There's kids. No reason. Even if you recorded at one point, that doesn't mean that you need to put it out ever. Like, just because it happened doesn't mean it needs to continue to happen with your stupid fucking crash grab of a re-release of your fucking demos.
Phish.net. That's where actually we had the other commentary on the earlier song.
Oh, okay.
Was Phish.net, and I just found one
that's
on
where I
Minkin.
got all my notes from.
So let's find out. So the original intent, again, from Phish.net/song/Minkin/history. The original intent of Minkin was a brief commercial/jingle made by Mike Gordon to let the world know that artist Marjorie Minkin had arrived. Minkin is Cactus's mother.
Pause. Who is Cactus?
Cactus is the other name for Mike Gordon.
Okay,
but even more familiar to fans with a PH, the creative genius behind the backdrops that lined the stage at a number of early shows. So this was
that's cute.
okay.
That's cute. Gordo's mom
sweet.
made their sets.
Okay, to create Minkin, Mike set out with his 4-track and recorded obscure conversations with his mother, none of which related to Minkin paintings. He then took the dialogue, manipulated the words, and changed their order to fit a verbal exchange about her artwork. Additional voiceovers praising Minkin's creative style were added to the jingle by Lillian Cherry, Nanny, Mike's grandmother.
How did this guy find all this shit out?
I have no idea. Again, maybe something isn't that smart. Who does Marjorie Minkin consider to be the main influence of her paintings? The family cat, of course, the ubiquitous Smokey. Phish has never performed Minkin, aside from a tease during the 10/31/86 Melt the Guns, but you never know when it could leap in a rotation. Oh, and for what it's worth, bite-sized paintings are also available. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Minkin. All right, guys. Well, there you go.
Well,
it's a song about his mom, about painting a thing
song.
for a set
It's
about
a
his
skit.
cat.
It's a skit, as if this was a hip-hop album from the late 90s.
With absolute negative swag.
And then, to close it out with the letter to Jimmy Page.
Fun.
My problem with the letter to Jimmy Page is a problem I have with Phish often, which is that, like, he's playing some kind of tasty licks, and I'm digging it. It sounds like a little bit like T-Rex. It's, 20th Century Boy. It's very, he's got the right idea, and then they just don't let it settle into the pocket.
I don't know, dude. I'm out of like witty things to say about this album. I feel like
that's lucky because the album's also out of songs
thank
right now.
God.
Yeah.
So should we get into rating this album, because for one, I'm fucking done. So generally on the show, as you may know, as a fellow stoppie, of course, we like to rate our albums with a 0 to -5 rating, and we let our guest of the day choose a quantifier for that. So a quantity that we are judging them on. Give us your rating and your quantifier.
Can I give a little speech before I give my rating?
Yes,
just
of
about
course.
this
Of
album in
speech,
general.
Speech.
I like Phish. I really like Phish. I love Phish. And I get, like, when you're in college and you're first starting your band out and, like, you're trying to be a jam band and compete with the Grateful Dead, who are still, like, touring in full force at this point, and you just want to put stuff out for people to hear you. I get that. I also get that a lot of what you guys put out is crap. And I think if you turn to become the biggest jam band in the world in '98, you should realize that the crap that you put out when you were in college needs to just go away. You don't need to like re-put out Minkin and all that fucking stupid ass shit that's on this guy.
The world needed Minkin. Let's be clear.
You don't need to go put this back out when you're seeing it's just like, and like it's turning into it. And then in 2011 when they released the vinyl, this point the scene was way past its prime. Like it just sucks. Like going to shows sometimes now is just so shady. There's like everyone's just like gonked out as shit. It's people in like their 40s trying to get like as high as possible while they're out because like this is their night to go party and all that kind of shit. And there's fucking nitrous mafia running around everywhere, blowing up balloons. People are just like fucking doing balloons, fishing out, dropping their balloons, falling over in the street. And it's just like, I don't know. It's so weird to like, this is like a snapshot from before all of that, before anybody knew they were going to become that band to have that cult following them. So I guess I will give this album -4 improperly discarded nitrous balloons.
That's a great quantifier, Mitch.
I love it.
That's very good. I still have issue with half of what you said, which is that like they get better or like there's good music. I'm still, or that you love Phish.
Well,
I think
he said a lot of stuff about how gross the scene has gotten too. So like,
no, I appreciate
I can vibe
that.
with that.
Yeah, I guess I'm wondering, like ultimately, like, would you recommend that we listen to other Phish albums? Do you think we'll get it?
You are two people who are 30 plus years old at this point.
Yeah,
if
we're
you're not
beyond
into
Phish.
Phish at this point, it's never going to happen.
Okay.
So like, I'm not going to tell you to do it.
Okay.
I'm saying if you're like a 14-year-old kid and you're like, oh, maybe I'll try Phish out, don't go to Newbury Comics and buy the fucking white tape like I did, because you might not ever come back from it.
Phish, not even once. All right. Mike, you want to give your rating?
Yeah, I didn't like this, but I don't really like anything that we listen to on the show, except for ICP. So
the gold standard. Here, I'll make it stop.
Here's the thing. I kind of, at this point, like, I've listened to so much bad music, I think about, how did this really make me feel as I was listening to it? What kind of effect did this have on me? Because the really bad shit really, really sucks the life out of me.
Yeah.
And I feel like most of this album was just kind of boring and confounding. And it had one song I kind of liked on it. And the other songs I didn't like.
Which one?
I liked the, I don't even remember what the fuck it's called.
Of course you don't, because it's so, come on.
Oh, Slave to the Traffic Light.
Okay, all right. The one that had that one line, that was the only lyric.
We didn't even talk about how fucking fucked up of a song title that is. But anyway.
Yeah.
Fucked up? You mean woke?
We're slaves of the traffic lights,
It
man.
turns green, you go, man.
Whoa. And when the white man tells you to walk, you can walk, man. Do you ever wonder why it's the white man? All right, go on.
Anyway, I feel like this album was really annoying. But I can't put it on that highest tier of the albums that really fucked with me, because for the most part, I think I'm just going to forget this album. I'm going to forget this album like tomorrow.
We're going to forget the quantifier immediately.
The Kid Cudi album, I was still singing those songs like 2 weeks later.
Yes. And that's impossible.
I couldn't get it out of my head. I was just going, bury me to sleep in the wedding tux. Everyone sucks. I'm just going to say this album... did not have that effect on me.
No.
I did still hate it, so I'm gonna give it a -3.5. Improperly discarded nitrous balloons.
Yeah. I really hate Phish with a passion. I really have.
I didn't notice.
It was like an identity marker. Like often, like especially going to UMass and hanging out with a bunch of hippies. I was like, no. Like I want you to be, I want to be very clear and upfront here. I think the shit is garbage. I think all jam music pretty much is garbage. It like is the unification of like all the worst kind of things to me. Like self-indulgent, fucking, empty, jerk off, white dude garbage music that's like, you know, unnecessary and shouldn't exist.
If there was a drinking game for this show, people would have just had to take like 5 drinks there.
That's exactly it. I mean, it is because there's themes to the music that we review here, and this checks off a lot of those boxes. It shouldn't exist. It's completely pointless. It's a cult, so you know, which is concerning to me. And I don't know, this is the worst of an artist that I already find, you know, atrocious and reprehensible. So, that being said, the music made me angry, like, because it took up space in the universe, but it wasn't like the kind of anger I felt, you know, listening to Kid Cudi that's a really great example, or even Kiss. Actually, you know what? This is very similar to Kiss in the fact that, like, a lot of people fucking worship this band, and it makes no fucking sense to me.
Can I cut into here, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kiss was funny.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't trying to be. And I feel like this was trying to be funny, but I was not laughing.
There was not a single punchline to be had. Exactly. That's so right. So whatever I gave Kiss, I want this to be lower than that. I think I gave Kiss like a -3. So I'm going to put this at a -4. I mean, if even the Phish guy here put it at a -4, that's where I'm going to put it, because it's garbage. It's hot garbage by a band that's already terrible, but it's I don't even want to give it like the, you know, the pedestal of being the worst of the worst, because it's so middling and pointless. So yeah, we'll give it a -4.
Improperly
discarded nitrous containers, canisters,
balloons.
There we go. So that's our episode of Make It Stop this week. We want to thank our guest, Mitch Williams, a.k.a. Mitchy Dee. Mitch, can you tell us about what's coming up for you, what we should check out, where we can find your music?
Hey, so you can check out my music. I got a Facebook page. It's on facebook.com/Mitchy Dee Music. You can check it out, the recording, straight up on Bandcamp. On my Facebook page, I throw
It's
up, like,
not jam band music.
It is, though.
Well,
it kind of is.
No.
I explore. I don't go to space.
They're 3 minutes long.
I don't go to space, but I explore.
Yeah.
It's like not going.
I feel that.
It's like kind of rolling out through the.
No, there's a song structure. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's good.
Okay.
Let him do his promo, for God's sakes.
So yeah, you can check me out. Facebook.com/Mitchy Dee Music. I throw up live videos once a month. I throw up whatever random shit pops in my head whenever. And you can hear my studio stuff at Bandcamp or mitchydee.bandcamp.com.
MITCHYDEE. There we go. We can all spell together collectively. It's like that track where they tried to layer the 2 lines over another and they didn't line up at all. Okay, so thank you, Mitch, for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We got one more episode before we're wrapping up for our little season hiatus. End of season 1, 20th episode coming up next, and we've decided we're just going to torture each other. So each of us is going to pick an album that the other one hates, and we're going to try to defend it.
I really like the first Limp Bizkit album. Maybe we'll just do the first Limp Bizkit album, and we'll just have a head-to-head crossfire-esque debate about it.
Well, I was thinking of trying to torture you with something, but we actually have too much in common in our musical taste, so we're trying to figure out something that I can really make Mike Dunn mad about that I really love. So, you know, Stoppies, you know me better than I know myself at this point, so tell me, what should I torture Mike Dunn with? Maybe we'll get a fan vote here. We haven't done that in a little bit, so.
Well, look, I hate to go on a tangent here at the end of the episode, but I literally just thought of this. Like, I will defend every song on that Limp Bizkit album if you just want me to go hard for it and you come at me. So,
but
you let me know.
I could find I find it really possible that I would also end up going really hard for the Limp Bizkit album. Like, I'm not confident enough that I wouldn't become I don't know. We'll see.
So the next episode will just be Limp Bizkit is great.
20th episode on Make It Stop. All right. Well, stay tuned. Pay attention. We'll be on the Facebook. We'll be on Twitter. We'll be on our website and everywhere else, letting you know exactly what you can expect here on Make It Stop next week. But we're doing this back to back.
Hey, Stoppies, if you want if you have an idea and want to be on the next episode, like hit us up like as soon as possible because we need to get this out by next Tuesday.
So we're trying to do this. We're gonna go on a little summer hiatus because nobody, including ourselves, wants to be in a hot studio recording a podcast in the summer when it's beautiful outside. So we're going to be doing a little hiatus and then coming back in September. We got a bunch of folks, though, that are coming in to do shows with us, including some crossover episodes of the Rock Candy podcast.
Yes.
We have Pale Hound coming into the studio.
Yes.
We have Saki Toomey coming into the studio. Woo! We have a lot of really great shit. Katie McCarthy. It's going to be great. Until then, we'll be back next week with a whole nother episode that's even a surprise to us. So stay tuned for that. And check us out on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher and anywhere else you get your podcast at Make It Stop Cast on Facebook. Our Gmail is makeitstoppodcast@gmail.com. And we're on makeitstoppodcast.com for our main website. You can hear all of our old episodes there if you want. All right. That's it for this week. Thank you,
Mitchy
Mitch.
D, thank you for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike and Heather.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.